What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Hope you're doing well. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We are here with episode 174 of the one and only RGT podcast. Guys, you guys already know, man. I've been super excited to welcome back our special guest for this evening. Let me turn my lightness up for a little bit. There you go. I'm a little too dark on my screen. But shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate everybody who came through. I know you guys love this woman as much as I do, so it's always a pleasure to talk to her in front of all of you. And we're about to go ahead and do this. One second. I said my audio's up. Wait a minute. Oh, I know why. Fix that. Oh, yeah. That's why. And that's it. Okay. You guys hear now? We do a testing. Test. Testing. Yep. I see your mic move. Say something good?
Heyo.
Yep. You're good. Okay. We're good now. We're good. So, my bad. Welcome. We're here. Yes, I know it's Big Cloud with an audio issue. How surprising.
No.
How surprising. Anyway, we're here. It's good to be back. Shout out to all you guys for making 2021 a phenomenal year. And of course, you guys already know everything that we've done on the side. I just told Kate here and she's blown away. And I thought she knew, but again, y'all know how it is in this online spectrum. She's busy doing the whole esports situation, which I'm very, very happy for. You're always excited for that, so we're going to talk about that briefly for a second as well. Definitely a lot to take in, and we're definitely going to start. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest, the one and only Kate Yeager. How are you, Kate?
Hey! I'm doing great. I'm hoping my audio is back up if everybody can hear me. And if you
you
did,
guys
I'm
turned it up
very
in OBS.
sorry that I was so loud. My audio, hopefully I can, let me know if you need me to turn up mine. I do, I'm sorry, the cat just got things all over my desk. You can't see him, he's off camera. It's a joker.
He was off for a minute.
I do a lot of, obviously I have a lot of different business things happening, and awesome. That's awesome. And so I do a lot of voiceovers on the side, and so you can't see this, but my whole voiceover setup is doing things. So if for some reason my audio is low or it's distorted or something like that, let me know, because I've been screwing with it.
Yeah, tampering with that
week.
recording.
Just trying to make it sound like it's not in my apartment.
No, you already know. Ladies and gentlemen, this lovely woman, you guys already know, she is a full-time freelancer with Xbox. Of course, one of the coolest hosts in the game and one of the most down-to-earth people you can possibly talk to. So I'm honored to talk to her. I want you guys to do me a huge favor. Put prayer emojis in the chat for Blaze 4K. He tested positive for COVID-19. He really wanted to come through for the day, but unfortunately, I don't think he's gonna make it today. So make sure you guys support him. That's my brother there. His channel is obviously it's on the front of mine, so you guys go ahead and subscribe to him. The whole 9 yards. We do Solidcast every other Wednesday, and appreciate y'all. So, Kate, wow, how do we start this? Because not an interview this time. We're actually talking about this industry. There's a lot going on. Since we couldn't get you on for 2021, and we kind of wanted to set that up, but we couldn't find the right time frame for it. Let me ask you real quick, how'd you feel about the Game Awards 2021? Did you think it was the best one? I personally thought the tone and the way things were, this was definitely one of those much needed moments, I think, for gaming. It was very toned down. It felt tone deaf for the whole year. How'd you feel about it?
I felt, to be honest with you, I think they did a great job with a relatively impossible ask, which was to set expectations and at the, sort of that meeting expectations game. I think one of the things that, and I'm sure everybody watching, I'm sure you would agree that in the last 2 years with quarantine, what it was, and more people playing games and being home, and having, your entire life virtually, if you're like some of us through a screen, I think something like the Game Awards with the behemoth, the very heavy hitters in terms of celebrities, in terms of gaming influencers, in terms
yeah.
of the people that were in the, even just the people in the seats. I think they did a really great job, and Jeff Keighley did a great job, you know, sort of also trying to maneuver through that minefield. And he did so in a time when, you know, like Blizzard, Activision, when things were really coming down, and where, you know, even corporations, Sony, Xbox, Nintendo, you know, some of them had weighed in on different avenues and at different levels. And I think given all of the things that, all of the minefields that were out there, which is not something I would think a award show would have to navigate so much, but with all the minefields out there, it definitely, I think it definitely threaded the needle accurately. And from a like a consumer part, just from a gamer perspective, it's like, I mean, I don't have anything else better to compare it to. Like, you know, like we don't have the same kind of press conference-y things that we used to have for E3. And by the way, RIP E3.
Yeah, it's pretty much dead at this point. Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that, but let me ask you this question. My first question to you, because you know me.
Yeah, so I love that. Take it away.
I can't help myself, but I do have to try to keep it to an hour and a half, by the way. I do have to try to do that, because I can't do another 4 hours, not because I don't want to, but because I have to limit myself, because I don't ever talk
we got
to
carried away. We were having too much fun last stuff.
I know, it was too much fun. It was good. But here's what I will ask you. I'm just curious. So right now there is sort of that artificial, based primarily on when E3 happens in that second week in June.
Mm-hmm.
Would you as a gamer be okay with not having that cadence, that week-long cadence in the middle of June? Would you prefer, or would you be okay with a slow dribbling, or a, you know, more holistic yearly release time, as opposed to having everything sort of happen in that June timeframe for E3?
You know, the problem with E3 is that it's not really special like it feels anymore. I'll tell you why. Like, for example, how I looked at E3, I don't know if you saw it like this, but I saw it as like the Super Bowl for gaming, in a sense, right? Yep. So how I would do it like WrestleMania. Move it around. Why not do something like that?
Regional.
It should not be locked in one area. No, you're limiting yourself. You're putting yourself in a bubble. Sure, there's history. There's a lot of console reveals. There's a lot of game reveals. Sure. But let's face it, times have changed. Why not move it around and hell, I would add themes to it. You know, it's kind of like WrestleMania. Like WrestleMania has like the pirate themes. They got the damn big time. You know, why not do some cool stuff like that? Make it interesting and really have fun. And you can have Jeff Keighley as someone on the team to add to the production side of this. Boom, there you go. You got yourself a yearly show, obviously, but it's open to everybody. More people can be part of history. And that's the problem about the whole thing. Personally, though, to answer your question, to get back on topic, I would personally, you might as well do slow dribbling, because this yearly thing is not going to work. You might as well do the slow dribbling. And that's kind of how we've been getting it, right? We've been having the Games Cons. We got the Game Awards. We got the Paris Games Week, if we're lucky.
Exactly. You know, Brazil Game Show. We have Tokyo Game Show. Like, and that's what's so interesting, because on the distribution team that I've got, like I said, a great team, a great boss, and work with great people. And, you know, it's so interesting to think about that cadence, because what's funny, and I think, I hate to put it so bluntly, I think, but from my perspective, E3 is E3 because of a convention center. You know, it's the E3 organization, who are great, by the way. Like, I fully understand and appreciate where they came from.
Yeah, we always love them for the memories, but
100%. But they controlled the venue.
Yeah.
You know, and by association, therefore controlled the narrative, or certainly controlled where things would take. And now, even though it was, you know, out of their control, certainly it was a pivot for all of us. It is an interesting place to be, that especially now with how, like, with Omicron, like, whoa, like, I mean, God, like, everybody dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Like, and so I fully respect, and as somebody who also, like, we were slated for ALGS for the playoffs to have a LAN tournament in London at the end of January. Well, it wasn't slated. I shouldn't say slated. That was in the talks. I not confirm or deny, but that was in the ether, right? That they were going to have a LAN tournament. Rumor had it was London. I loved that idea. I so loved it, but ultimately, Respawn and EA made, I think, the correct decision to say, hey, listen, we can't guarantee safety, like, calling it. So, you know, I'm just going to put it out there. COVID sucks. I'm just going to say it.
It does.
But
Someone
at the same time, yeah, but I will say this. One last thing about EA, or not EA, about E3. I actually think that this is not, even though it was forced upon us due to circumstance, I don't think it's the worst thing, and I totally agree with you. And as somebody who just, you know, has seen developers and publishers, you know, I know one of the topics was talking about Rockstar, and like you want to talk about a team that has been pushed to the limit time and time again, and the burnout in this industry is so real and utterly forgettable, understandably, because once you have that beautiful Red Dead Redemption 2, once you have that incredible game, like it's, you know,
it's like a fix, right? They ask for the next thing, like what you got left, type of thing.
And you're absolutely And that's the problem, is that now there's this whole like, I want it, give it to me all the time, and so I get it.
That's why I like, you know, that's why I had to incorporate a certain question in here. I know you saw it, where it's about games and how they hit kind of different now, especially if we go back. I'm gonna say Blaze is not here, but at the same time, I can't blame him. You know, he's not well, but me and him had this long conversation about it. It was crazy. It was like clockwork. We were just so I put out a tweet a couple of days ago about God of War 3. I was like, damn, 12 years ago, guys, this masterpiece happened, this opening happening. It was amazing. And the tweet got a lot of support about it. I was like, yeah, this game was really, really good. And then I just thought about it for a second. Me and him were talking. We were like, yo, dude, on some real God of War 2018, though it's amazing, right, visually, though it does a lot of cool stuff different with Kratos, it's very it's very innovative in terms of taking a character who's not known for emotion, like that we think, to really break that down and give you something different. Absolutely. But when I look at that game and I legit look back at something like God of War 3, I can't help but think, man, there's some stuff here that's missing. God of War is a game that's known for being very grotesque, gory, and bloody. And if I remember correctly, God of War 3, they didn't hold no hands. They held no punches. They went all out with this. They literally just hit you, you know, everything they could. And they still had that emotional payoff with Pandora. So when I looked at God of War 2018, I'm like, damn, you know, this is great. We got half of this, but we're missing another half. And I'm like, that's
you're missing the realism for you. Is for you the realism, like the immersive quality in that the realism, the you know, that feeling that you're watching something that's both narratively cinematic but also like, you know, realistic visually in its violence?
You know, personally, I think so. Yeah, I'm definitely divided. Absolutely. Like 2018, again, I can play 2018 and go and play for what it is. You know, I see it as a father protecting his son going down the road. That's pretty much what I see it as. But when I play it, I don't think, you know what I'm saying, God of War. I don't think the OG God of Wars. The OG God of Wars, it was like, we're here. This is what you got to do. You got to kill this guy. You got to go this. And you look back and you're like, damn. And then you also, a lot of the characters, like in God of War 3, were characters you wanted to kill. Is there a character in God of War 2018 that you really wanted to kill? Yeah, like did you really have feel the motivation to kill anybody in God of War 2018? Like really, did you?
Well, and you know what's so
I think that's a no. She said you
moving right along. Well, no, and I will say, you know you bring up a really interesting point. I think
who's
ultimately.
Here.
Oh, Blaze!
What's up, brother?
Hey, buddy.
You know, Ryan, you know, I told Ryan I got.
Oh, I told him. I already gave everybody the full scoop. She heard both.
But I forgot the guest we had today. I'm like, God.
Well, you look great. You look like $1 million.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Nah, we're talking about that.
It snowed like 10 inches outside, big cloud. I'm like, shoveling.
Oh, you were shoveling
with COVID? You're having a day, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Got to do it.
Oh, man.
I hear that, bro. Well, I'm
Enough
glad to have you.
Go ahead.
No, I'm glad you're here. Glad you can make it with us. I was bringing up that conversation we had about God of War 2018 versus God of War 3, and about to just hear Kate's take on it. How you feel? Do you think games as a whole, Kate, are legit? Even though we've innovated in terms of technology, we're doing a lot of cool stuff with SSDs. We're seeing a lot of story-driven stuff. Do you feel like games have hit a point where they're like, you know what? We're not going to do that. You know, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna go this way because we got to cater to certain sides. That's kind of a question. I kind of.
It sounds like you're talking AAA titles. It sounds like you're specifically talking AAA because I feel like indie games are where you get those niches. Yeah.
Well, you could really I would say put that to any type of quality game. I really do. I don't think games nowadays are put out there to really like, you know what I mean, like kind of make a statement or to shock you. You know what I mean? Like for example, let's just say, for example, Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 was very gory and bloody, but that game served a purpose in terms of shocking you, right? With the opening and whatnot. Sure. That game obviously still did what we're talking about in terms of like really pushing, right? But you don't see a lot of games really going down that road. They're kind of just like laid back. They're like, we're in our own little, you know, our own little bubble here. And it really feels like, I don't know, are we getting that point where it's like, are those games are going to be frowned upon in the industry type of thing? Because, you know, you don't really see much of it. Like, how do you feel?
I see. It's, you know what? I wonder if there's an element here because I think there's so many things you could mention. You could talk about consumer expectations, right, which are sky high at the moment, probably have been higher from an immersive state, from a place where players want to be. They're higher than they've ever been. You know, the thirst is real, right? So you have that aspect, but then you also have what you're looking for in terms of commercial success and needing to be sort of towing that line. You're no longer polarizing. You know, not everybody can be a, you know, oh my gosh, why am I completely forgetting his name? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No. Don't. Nope. This is me. This is a moment. This is a concerning moment for me. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is a moment that's gonna follow me for life.
She did it. She did the heads. I don't know. She might not get
Hideo Kojima.
There you go. I must say. Do I have to say her? Do I have to say Kojima?
Like I was gonna say, not everybody can be Hideo Kojima, right? So I think there will always be, understandably. There will always be that commercial success leading some of the editorial concepts. Yeah. Because it's like at the end of the day, it's not non-for-profit. You know what I mean? Like you have to make games. But also, here's the other thing that I'd be curious, and I would challenge you guys to answer yourselves, is that I'd be curious to find out, like, because of the people, I have met so many incredible developers and publishers who are looking to the community for their input, right? Who are looking to the community, not as many reviewers, right? A blockbuster title is still a blockbuster title because people love it, and sometimes it can get not great reviews. Awesome, that's fantastic, right? So the people like the Phil Spencer, and again, I'm Xbox centric. There, I said it. But we all know it. It's fine. But my point is that the people, a lot of the people in charge, you know, are in leadership are really trying to ask those questions and get the community's input. And if the community is their actions are dollars, because that's ultimately, I mean, reviewers can say everything they want, but if there's people buying your game, you're going to try to make the same thing again, not again and again necessarily, but certainly that has an appeal. It's a little bit like, I would guess, it's a little bit like movie industry, right? Where the sequels. Now, I don't know how many sequels outside of the Star Wars franchise, not the prequels, because I don't want to talk about it.
We don't talk about those. we don't claim those.
No, we do not. They're no.
Yeah. I wouldn't claim the new age ones either, though, to be honest.
I'm torn.
You're torn?
I'm torn. I love them.
The first one, Force Awakens, will be. I will give it that one. That one's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The last two, I don't know about all that. I don't.
It's funny. I drink the Kool-Aid to a point. I can't drink the prequels. I can't do that. I want to. I do. And God help him, Hayden Christensen. You better do a great job coming up here. Is all I'm gonna say.
We title it The Rise of Skywalker, and we don't see a rise of any Skywalker.
Anywho, my point is that it's a great question that you pose. It's a seriously awesome question, and I think it's something that keeps AAA game developers up at night for a really good reason. And ultimately, I think ultimately it's just whatever people are going to play. And right now, I don't think you're wrong. I think right now people are more inclined to be in that center, you know, that dead center medium thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not sure if that makes sense, but.
No,
Okay. All right. Blaze, you want to share what you thought about the whole thing? Like the comparison, God of War 2018, God of War 3? Like, me and you were just sitting looking back like, damn, this was 12 years ago, bro. You know, we seen the Hercules fight, the stadium being lifted.
We started watching all the videos.
Poseidon still looks incredible to this day.
It's a different age, man.
Yeah.
You can tell the market they're looking at. We're complaining about there's not enough gore in 2018.
Yeah.
And there really isn't. They chose certain enemy types, you know, that bleed orange, right? So
yeah.
the more if they can make God of War more accessible to a wider range of audience and more people are going to look into it and buy it, that's all they care about. You know, is making how many groups, you know, how many different age groups can we get to play this game?
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, God of War, the guy that goes around murdering everything. And although I love it, you know, but you could, you know, looking back, Big Cloud, that's the third God of War. Then there was 2 on PSP. That formula, you know, people won't admit it, but, you know, it was getting borderline stale at that point. You got 5 games of the same hack and slash murder. Now, there was storyline elements. The storytelling was great and all that. But I just think, you know, it was refreshing to see a different perspective. And, you know, I know they went to the whole third person over the shoulder Sony formula that people like to say.
That's not really my
Sony
issue,
stench, but
yeah.
You know what's funny, by the way?
Yeah.
Real quick to add to that, what's funny, I was just trying to look it up here. We talk about wanting to keep things, you know, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh no, it's the guide. I was like, wait. I'm pretty sure I'm just double checking because I'm almost certain that I'm right. But all of the God of Wars, they're regardless of, you know, original 2, 3, 4, they're all M rated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so it's not like they can get around certain. We work with the ESRB all the time, so this is for some reason this is on the top of my head right now anyway.
Yeah.
But like it is interesting because from an advertising perspective, they're still going to be they still have the same regulations as M. You know,
that is true.
It's interesting. You're not wrong. It's just an interesting thought.
No, you know what? The rating system to me is so. I hate to say it's flawed because.
It's fascinating, right? It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Parents don't even read
People
it.
complain that, you know.
No, please tell me. Please, no. This
is
no.
Okay, you're spot on. I totally just brushed the rating system under the rug here, but when you're bringing it back to me, actually, I'm thinking like that's why we have a rating system. And listen, I'm not, you know, God of War 2018 was super violent at points. You know, I'm not saying it wasn't, but you know, it's.
The carnage.
The rating system is flawed. I think they really need to. It's not the rating system. It's the stores that sell it.
Yeah.
Like Walmart, and you know the kid comes and says, "Yeah, I want Call of Duty." Okay, Call of Duty, and then
they don't even
ask for ID.
All that. Yeah.
The ID, like there's no like 18 plus or mature. Like there's got to be like strict regulations on ID checking because if it's Christmas morning and you hear 1,000 kids on Call of Duty, like I played it. You know, let me just try COD today. It was Christmas. And, dude, there was more kids than adults. And that's a problem. But it's become so like Call of Duty so mainstream at this point. And I know I'm kind of going on different, but I'm trying to stick with the rating system here. It's just the rating system really needs to be adjusted where, like, you know, we got to hold the stores accountable. Like GameStop, you can't be selling games. You know, and it. I don't know. How about this?
The games Kate? At their level too, right? Don't stock the games at like eye level for kids too. Yeah.
Exactly. I think my friend Meds brought this up. He said not every game needs a sequel. And I said, you know what? You're right. He's like, I would have been fine with The Last of Us ending at part 1. I would have been fine with, but I told him, I said, Meds, you're right, but new IPs are the riskiest thing in the business because you know, it's a whole new character, a whole new story, you know, and when you got something like Halo that's beloved and then you get another Halo and another, that's for a reason because people love the universe, love the characters, love the storyline, like, but
No,
I
and
always
then
wanted to
actually-
ask you guys that. Do you think
Yeah.
we need sequels? Like a sequel? Like why is there so many sequels?
I would say
So-
to a certain
yeah,
extent, yes. We need them to a certain extent, but there should be a cutoff point. You know what I mean? I think a trilogy, you're done. That's fine. You don't have to make, 7 installments of the same game, because at that point, people start questioning, how do you make it fresh? How do you improve upon this one?
Big Cloud, this
Where
got
do you
brought
go
on
from
because
this?
of Days Gone. Days Gone.
I know. That's
got
one of the
rejected
topics,
a
and I'm
sequel.
glad you brought that up. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I already know this. I know. Kate's ready for this. That's why she came
I
prepared.
love this.
Kate, let's hear your take on that. Do we need sequels in games?
So, okay, so obviously, elephant in the room. I come from the Xbox world where we love our sequels. We do.
Uh-oh.
We
She
talk
said
about
Xbox.
Halo. Come on,
She,
you know
she
it.
said
Come on.
Xbox 4 times. I know what that means.
Forza- I'm just saying. Oh, there it is. That's fine. More that unites than divides is all I'm saying. I will say, I think sequels. How do I put this? I think there's a difference between sequels and a continuation of
Yeah.
a franchise. And I know that sounds counterintuitive to a certain degree, but for example, Forza Horizon. Okay, racing game. It's a racing game. Whatever. Forza Motorsport. That's a good example. We're 5 right now, and that's because they get to have, it's almost, I would say from a Forza, there are certainly mechanics that make a new and different, sort of a new and different narrative, but I would look at Forza as something like Forza 4 or 5,
Yeah.
those are like almost expansions. They're almost like really robust DLC. So from that perspective, because I think, yeah, you're not wrong. If you want to have something that's not robust, that's a DLC add-on, right? That's a
Right.
subscription add-on. That's whatever you want to call it. I think it's so funny because we talk about Hollywood sequels, and so often they don't do well, right? So
Yeah.
often the sequel is like the kiss of death. And what's so funny too is that you look at the difference between what it takes to make a sequel from a franchise that has already proven itself,
Established, yeah.
established. They already have all the code. It's just they add additional things, and certainly, but that foundation is there, and there's so many people that go in. It's and into making that for so long that the investment's already there, right? And if in that case, if they've already been anointed and said, hey, listen, we'll make this AAA title, no problem, let's do this,
Yeah.
and it comes through and doesn't bomb, right? So that's already an investment that's going forward. And then that can also then spawn other things too, right? But if you look at those, I mean, can you guys imagine? Can you imagine being in one of those meetings at what used to be E3, right? Or one of those like meetings that developers would have with publishers, indie publishers, smaller publishers, publishers would have developers, you know what I'm saying? Smaller, these indie guys, these people with this great idea, that could totally work, but we just need the seed money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, and especially it even kind of comes back to what we were talking about earlier, but it's like, where it's like, are there original ideas? Are there original IP? Is that what's happening? And so I think that for me makes sequels, I don't know. I don't think I answered your question, but what I was going to say basically, if I can TLDR this a little bit, is that sequels have their place, but I totally agree that place has been revisited far too often, too many times.
It's not just the Xbox. I know you said, Uncharted 1,
it's not
2,
just
3.
Xbox. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, PlayStation got a lot. God of War's been here for like 6 different games. Uncharted has been here for 5 different games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But,
so
yeah.
There's a line, by the way, real quick. There's a line that, or a phrase in Hollywood that scripts aren't written, they're rewritten. And I think that kind of scenario is
That's
very
so facts.
right.
Wow.
That's
That's
a good
such a
point.
great. Wow. That was
Man,
good.
you just killed that. She killed that one.
Yeah.
Man.
And I'm out. Thanks, everybody.
There you go. There you go. I got nothing.
That's plagiarism. You're welcome.
Since it's great. Since we're on the new IPs thing, and this flows right into this because this is a big part about it. This game is in a lot of headlines. Granted, it falls into obviously the new IP conversation. Like K's already looking for the question. She already knows what it is. I'm going right for it. So it was reported that Ghost of Tsushima sold 8 million units worldwide. Now, obviously, we know more than likely we're getting a sequel from that because Sony dubbed that a success. It did well. It was received well.
Also,
However,
are you going to say, even if you're Sony, are you going to say no to Hideo Kojima?
I'm sorry, are you going to say that? What?
Are you going to do that? That's cool. No,
Ghost of
it's
Tsushima? Ghost of Tsushima was Sucker Punch.
I mean, oh my God, who am I looking at? Oh my God.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
No, I said Hideo Kojima.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's okay.
No, she thought you said.
Oh,
it was a whole
go,
thing.
No, my bad.
You know what? I love you both. Continue. Sorry, bud.
So Ghost Team sold 8 million, and
8
Days
million,
Gone
yeah.
sold about 9 million. However, according to the studio director Jeff Frost, the game is it was labeled a disappointment by Sony, and it was treated like that. So my question, of course, to you guys, to both of you, would be, with the game almost selling 10 million, how come we didn't get a sequel? And what do you think went wrong here? Now, obviously, this one right here, this is kind of I guess I kind of got a little bit of the answer to this. I interviewed a former PlayStation dev not too long ago. His name is Chris Grinnell, and he stated that Metacritic played a big factor in terms of how games were obviously looked at in terms of success.
Yep.
Obviously, sales is one thing, but public opinion is another. There's a reason why we don't have the Order 1886. There's a reason why we're more likely not going to ever see a Days Gone. However, there's hope for that. The game did sell 9 million, almost 10, and the studio is kind of, very torn by how how Sony treated the game. How'd you guys feel about this? I'll start with you, Kate. Like, do you think this game ever had a chance to begin with? I mean, I know you were there when we first saw it at E3. It was very well received at the time at E3. We thought it was like, okay, that's crazy. It's like World War Z on steroids. They're breaking through barriers, all this stuff, and then we get it, and it's not even as received as well.
To add on to Kate real quick, I when I first walked in, I thought I heard Kate saying, the numbers were great, so it was, that's what they're looking at. But here's Sony seeing Days Gone sell more than Ghost of Tsushima, but ultimately saying it's a failure because of, Metacritic scores and,
Yeah.
But it sold more than the beloved Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm.
But that was received so well.
Yep.
That is a really
Anyway,
good
go ahead, Kate.
No, I love it. No, that you nailed it. I think it's such an interesting question because I don't think for very obvious reasons there's no black and white. My guess, if I were to read the tea leaves from this direction, is that of course Metacritic matters. There's a reason we have it. There's a reason that the power it holds is very impressive, and understandably so. Like the aggregation of reviews from people who do this day in day out is very important, especially for those people who are working on the game day in day out. My understanding as well, because I did a little bit of looking through your questions earlier, and sort of what I've been somewhat keeping up with here is that there was also some technical issues. I think I mean, it's a AAA title, so people have sky high expectations to begin with.
It didn't have a smooth launch.
Exactly. Not like Cyberpunk. No.
Cyberpunk was a whole bag of other stuff. It's so bad. I don't even want to bring it because
we don't even touch that. That's
I don't want to talk about it. And it's sad because the studio is a good studio, but it's unfortunate that that game is now a public stain. You know what I mean, on their resume, and that really sucks for that studio. But yeah.
So my thought on this was that there isn't a single thing that trumps everything else, and you're Blaze, you're right. Earlier, I did say, and understandably so, I think that people's actions speak louder than words a lot of times, and for gaming publishers and developers, I mean, it's hard to beat an action of putting $60 down for a game. Like that's hard to beat that action, right? That's a huge vote of confidence.
Yeah.
However, I wonder if in this case, based on all the manpower the work power, let's be inclusive here, all of the work power that goes into creation of a game, I wonder if there was an element of ROI. And I know that sounds weird, but in Sony's case, there's a couple of things. One, ROI. How many people did it take, and how much is the burnout real? Now, that's not necessarily something that is usually at the forefront. Mm-hmm. Usually, it's the numbers game, right? Usually, it's the dollars spent. But there's another element here too. Another element here, which could be, maybe there is a game that they have in development that is gonna be something where they want to take over a certain niche, and this other game, whatever it is going to take over that niche more than... Here's what it is. In either scenario, in any scenario, they have definitely drawn a line in the sand.
Yeah.
That is fascinating because they are no longer just thinking with the dollar sign.
Yeah.
If this is the case, because that'd be easy. They're no longer thinking. And by the way, I'll put this out there. If a game had a lackluster like beginning, if they had a lackluster launch of the original title,
Yeah.
and they come out with a sequel that like takes all of those problems, fixes them, and then adds some great things.
Yep.
Amazing. So my guesses are there's something political with the studio. I'm using too much work power, too much personnel, the ROI, or
Yeah.
Sony's looking long term, going, this is not. I don't know if it's worth it right now.
I mean, they already had a zombie game too. And that's the thing too. If you want to add up, they had Last of Us. Last of Us already, yeah. Well, Last of Us, Last of Us was their flagship one, and Deacon St. John, he could have been a mascot. He was given the same opportunity. Like the way I look at it is like this.
Well, people loved his character and the guy who voiced him too.
Yeah, Starkiller. Sam, I forgot his last name.
But Big don't forget Ben Studio. That was their first big AAA game ever.
Yeah, and I was going to add this to that because if I remember correctly, Uncharted 1 wasn't super insanely well received, right? It was okay. It received the okay reception, but they took the feedback and gave you arguably one of the best PlayStation games of all time, Uncharted 2. That's why I'm saying, like, I believe they could redeem themselves if they were given that chance. The same thing goes with The Order 1886. I do believe both those games could have been mascots if Sony at least greenlit and gave them that second go-ahead. I mean, let's face it. Even though he's the lead system architect, Knack 2 got a sequel. Why couldn't these two games get a sequel, of some sorts, and what gives me a little hope, Kate, that we might see this down the road is I know you've seen the announcement, obviously, for Alan Wake 2. That game was DOA.
Everybody saw that one.
Yeah, it was DOA for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
Until a recent announcement where it came to PlayStation. It was released on more platforms. So Days Gone's on PC. It got to increase rating in terms of popularity. There are a lot of people who enjoyed the game. Do you see it maybe coming back, giving another shot? Maybe.
Actually, you just it occurred to me. I wonder if there's another element to this that we're not realizing. Well, but they were developed under Sony, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the exclusivity thing is still there. Okay. No, I was just thinking like.
Listen, you can never say never in this industry, man.
That's a good point.
Never, man. Look at Fable coming back. All these great.
No.
Microsoft is bringing back. They shut down Lionhead, and now they're rebooting Fable under Playground, and it's just you can't say never, Big Cloud. I just think Sony has, as a PlayStation fan, they got this really high standard, and sometimes it can really hurt them because not everything needs to be a 99. Receipt, it's like, dude, the game was a good game. A lot of people loved it. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but look, man, I mean, you're not gonna gaming is subjective. Not everybody's gonna love your game. At the end of the day, Days Gone to me was a great game. I enjoyed it. I seriously did. And Ben Studio deserves, they deserve to make that decision if they want to pursue a sequel or not. But hey,
no, you're right.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like us throwing stuff at a dartboard at this point. It's like, can we land on it? Can we get it? And it's like it's possible, right? It's got more eyes on it, and more eyes on a product. It's not a bad thing. I mean, that
not at all.
More desire,
And also, there's another element here too, and I think you're right. That it's like. Never say never, because oftentimes a lot of these things sort of ebb and flow with leadership too.
Yeah.
And so say somebody, say all of a sudden we've changed up the higher ups there, and all of a sudden now there's a guess what? Here we go. Let's take the sequel and see what it can do now, because the helm of the ship has now shifted course, right? So 1,000% agree. I think ultimately I don't know. I mean. I like to think so. You're absolutely right. Ben Studios, I mean, and by the way, I love that they based their, post-apocalyptic action-adventure series on an Oregon That's it. Which Bend is in Oregon, so well done. It's
Yeah.
also I think it's named after Bend, Oregon, which coincidentally is where I learned how to ski. Fun fact.
Oh wow.
Really?
I
cannot
still don't.
ski.
By the way, I still don't really know how to ski. So like, don't get it twisted.
Skiing is hard,
Oh
man.
man.
It is hard.
Yeah,
It's hard.
it is hard. For real.
Whoa, man. So we got a big announcement. It was at CES. Sony finally revealed probably the worst kept secret in gaming, which we already knew was happening. They revealed, I forgot the specs, but I'm just going to tell you right now, it's probably the most advanced VR headset on the market. They went from having the cheap alternative on the market with the PS4 version to having the most advanced version now for the PS5. The new PSVR 2 was finally shown. Well, not the headset, but the specs were finally shown.
Controllers.
And the controllers. Now that those are shown, of course, I gotta ask Kate, being representing Xbox, is Microsoft missing a golden opportunity here, not having the VR now? I mean, I know we talked about it possibly before as an option, but now it's here. I mean, the gloves are off. We finally see it, and there's no support that we know of for Xbox for a VR headset. And we heard about a VR headset support since the Xbox One X, if I remember correctly. It was something like that. It was reportedly going around for that. And then it never happened. It was like, whoa, okay. We got a Series X. We got a capable monster here, third-party deals. I'm not seeing nothing, How you feel?
100%. It's an interesting question because I think, first of all, I love that anyone is making headway in the VR space. Anyone. Because ultimately, with gamers, I want to be more immersed. And so I love that we are continuing on that path. I don't think that's ever going to go backwards, so it's fine. I will also say that 90% of those people who are using VR right now, well, not 90%, basically everybody, use it on Windows. And quite frankly, from a Microsoft, if you go one row ahead, above Xbox, Microsoft has mixed reality. I mean, they've been really doing that whole HoloLens thing for a while.
Yeah.
So what I usually do is I look at what Mr. Phil Spencer says and has said a couple of times, which
Believe
was
in
that
Phil.
Believe in Phil. You guys watch Power On, I should say, Power On, the Xbox documentary series. Highly recommend. Weird plug that I don't have.
The best, dude.
Awesome.
What a great
documentary.
Right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm on the Red Ring. I haven't finished all of them, but dude, they didn't. We'll get to that.
Doesn't it give you the feels?
I'm glad it was cool about them is that they're acknowledging their success and different. And I'm glad
mistakes,
they're not.
Dude, they brought Jack. They brought Sony. They brought Jack Trenton.
I was not surprised. Man. I was surprised to see Jack Trenton back.
Dude, they messed up and they told you we messed up. They told you. They said they brought up all their flaws. I mean, it's great. It's a great show for real.
I love it.
Really good.
No, I agree completely. When it comes to VR, I think so. So what Phil has said a couple of times actually was where the Xbox isn't focusing on that technology right now. And I think that's personally for me, I think it's the right move only because I think here's the thing. The fact that we're talking about Sony having a second generation of VR headset that is blowing people out of the water is testament to the fact that we're still in the infancy of VR headsets within that space. Like I said, I mean, the reality is that I'm sure at some point that'll happen, but here's what's interesting. So Xbox hasn't focused on VR, right? Hasn't focused on that particular piece of technology. I would also say that in a lot of ways, even though it's become more prosumer friendly, more consumer friendly in terms of price point, in terms of, setup and everything like that, it's friendlier than it's ever been. But if you talk about xCloud, that is the most friendly. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's that whole idea of being able to give everybody, when everybody games, we all win, right? That's the idea. And actually that's an accessibility line, but either way, it's true. My point is that I can foresee Xbox getting into the VR space when it's even more widely
Saturated?
adopted.
Or
Yeah, because
Okay.
right now it's like you want to get, Game Pass is a great example. XCloud is a great example. All of these ways to get more gamers into more games more often in wherever you play and however you play. And so at some point of course VR is going to be a thing, right? It has to be.
Yeah.
For Xbox. But right now, it's almost like, okay, you know what? You guys go and do the business. You go and
Yeah.
surge ahead, go do your thing, get that technology to a place that is awesome and fantastic and like doesn't make me want to like hurl every time.
Yeah.
That's just me. And then we'll come back and you know what? We'll bring all of our cool games with us. That would be my guess. Obviously, I don't talk to Phil every day.
Is it a golden opportunity missed though, in a sense where like no third-party deals, maybe for the top-rated ones that's currently in the market? Because obviously the games are in Game Pass. You can have those games in Game Pass and just go, hey guys, software patch is compatible.
True,
I mean,
but
I
challenge this because I 1,000% agree. But outside of Beat Saber, can anyone here name another VR title?
Oh my god, 1,000.
Hitman is one.
Okay, that is
4.
okay. Yep. Okay, so you've named like
Listen,
the first top
Resident
two.
Evil
I use this thing literally.
Golf.
Golf.
I play mini golf.
Yeah.
I destroy BitCloud in real life mini golf.
Is that your Oculus or no?
This is the Quest 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I got the other one.
Look,
Yeah.
it is. Let's say it is niche, right? It's not something I use every day. Okay.
Sure.
And it's not something that people, like you said, some people don't got their VR stomach in check, right? But Microsoft doesn't need to develop their own headset.
No.
All they need to do is allow other headsets to be compatible with the Xbox. That's all they have to do. They don't have to develop their own headset. Just let me plug in the Quest with a USB-C and let it be compatible that way. And you say, well, Blaze, what about the camera? You don't need a camera. This got built-in cameras. This does the job
that's
for
the
you. You don't need a
downside
camera.
about VR2 though, bro. So VR2, PSVR2, it uses a cord going into the console. It's not built into the head. Yeah, it's not built into the headset.
Big Cloud. Listen, I know. Listen, this is look real quick about VR.
Yeah.
This is the most. This ain't the most powerful headset, but it's the most convenient. Mm-hmm. It's the most. I can't explain to you playing games wirelessly, no cord, no nothing. But I also have the option to plug this into my PC with one cord with the USB-C and take advantage of the power of my graphics card and play any game I want. But look, one cord is not a big deal. The Valve Index, which is the most expensive VR headset on the market, one of them is like $1,000. It's like $800 plus the controllers. You're looking at $1,000.
What?
Yeah.
And look, and you got to set up a bunch of cameras around you. This ain't gonna be this way, man. PlayStation's gonna use one cord. One cord is a major step up from PlayStation before with their breakout box and all these. Dude, the PSVR is cool, but I never liked using it because it was a pain in the butt to set up all the wires, all these breakout boxes. It was such an inconvenience. Yeah.
I have a question actually, and you too, but and I completely, and you can see my naivete when it comes to VR, obviously, but like, how do you guys use it? Are you sitting down, immersing yourself that way, or are you literally standing up and Beat Sabering? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the use cases for you guys?
So when I played him in golf, it really depends on the game. When I played him in golf, I was standing up and we were just hitting and putting and everything. But yeah, it really depends on the game. Some games you can sit down and do them. Beat Saber, I don't think anybody sits for Beat
but I was more
Saber.
curious, like, in my head, I've always had VR as a stand-up, move around sort of situation, right? But Blaze, it sounds like this is also something that could be, really showcasing a beautiful title and just immersing you that much further, which is not a case study that I think of when I think of VR.
Oh my god, I'm playing Resident Evil 4. Okay.
Why would you do that to yourself? You're giving yourself high blood pressure.
No. Look, and I know. If you haven't played VR, when people look at it like, man, that's a gimmick that'll die in 5 years. And honestly, I don't blame people.
I'll agree with that.
Right, I don't blame people for looking at it that way. But once you try it, you'll understand, man. I can't explain it. Does Microsoft need a VR right now? No, they don't. They're focusing on bringing games. Microsoft right now is just focused on getting their games out the door, and that's what they should be for. They shouldn't be worrying about VR right now. Let them establish themselves with new IPs and get themselves rolling like they're doing right now.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is, if you haven't tried VR, the Quest is the best VR headset you could buy right now because it's easy, it's cheap, and you don't need anything. It's just this. Everything's built in here. You don't need a computer. You can play games off the headset.
Blaze,
you don't need it. It's the best.
Did Sony miss a golden opportunity though with this? Not just having like, for example, like they obviously updated everything. OLED display, 120 frame support for each eye, HDR support, all this stuff.
Bro, they got the best resolution.
Yeah, best resolution.
The best resolution too.
But at the price of obviously the wire, going to the box and whatnot, do you think they could have gotten away with? It being similar to one you have, where it would be built into the headphones?
They could have maybe done that, but they have to take advantage of the box. Without the wire, they can't take advantage of the power. If you can't plug it into your PlayStation, you can't really take advantage of your PlayStation.
That's true.
And look, how many people own PS4s and then all the VRs? That's why the PSVR was so successful, because everybody owned the PS4. There was 150 million. So then you sell a VR system. Oh, okay. All I need is I already own. Instead of owning a gaming PC, it's much more intimidating getting a gaming PC and then getting it's just everybody owns a PS5 and an Xbox.
I'm glad you brought that up. So that is one question I don't think we got an answer for. Does the VR2 support VR1's games?
I'm sure it will. Yeah,
I hope it does.
Would it not?
I
hope that would be
it does. Yeah, I hope it does.
Absolutely no, big lie. Sony with PS Plus, Sony's been giving out VR titles every here and there, and people have already invested into the PlayStation ecosystem and bought so many games for PlayStation VR. There's no way in hell.
I don't know, man.
Listen,
they charge you $70.
Hold on. I can already play. I can play PSVR on my PS5. Why? If they weren't supporting that, then why can I already use my PS5 to play my PSVR games on my PS5?
I don't know, man.
Right?
Just being
Pika, you want to make a bet?
No.
You want to do a gentleman's bet? Gentleman's bet? Yes.
All right, gentleman's bet. All right, there you
go. No. With some money on top too. How about a gentleman's money bet?
All right, what is it, $1? You got it.
$50. I'll buy you any game you want. If you're right, I'll buy you any game you want.
Buy me any game I want.
Any game.
All right, bet.
You heard it here first, folks.
Bet.
No deluxe editions.
Thanks. I like how he puts me on blast in front of Kate. But hey, it's fine. I'm on. You got it.
We'll see. No.
Yeah,
that would be a big.
That'd be a big oops.
Yeah,
that'd be a big gooch, man.
If Sony doesn't support their older titles, that'd be really.
They kind of are not doing it now. I mean, well, they're looking for ways. Obviously,
look, if this was like
stuff,
a PS3 gen, this is PS4 titles.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
If Sony now doesn't like to, they're not. If this was Xbox, right away, Xbox gonna support it one way or the other. But the fact that they're PS4 titles and it came out in the PS4 era, it'll be supported.
All right, you guys heard it live right here. Made that joint here. Kate,
yes.
Death Stranding collector's edition, or not collector's, director's cut is going to PC. With Sony now, I mean, obviously it's not even a surprise. We talked about this last time with God of War, and we said it. The door is wide open for whatever.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first VR headset now that they've done for the next gen, and obviously with their new stance, their new leadership. Do you think that this is the headset that's going to be compatible with PC? If you're thinking about getting more, because remember we were just talking about the audience. We were talking about the things being niche and obviously not that many people getting access to games, et cetera, et cetera. I ain't gonna lie, this would be a very tempting buy for a lot of people who are into VR, especially with the specs that we've seen. And if it was available on PC and PS5, do you think that's in the cards for this?
Listen, if we've seen PlayStation really make a move towards PC for obvious reasons, and I think a rising tide raises all boats, and I think that there is just nothing that is going to stop them. Plus, the reality is that like lots of, you want to talk about bringing VR the power it needs.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the PC. And so, well, I mean,
Right.
not that it's not on the console, but you know what I'm saying. So my point is that with the way that PlayStation seems to be taking action that is like really pinpointing that PC audience and saying like, we're going to really like amp it up. It seems like a natural flow. Of course they're going to, yeah, of course. Like, I don't know why I'm making this face, but yeah.
I need that sweater. Can you give me that sweater? I need like a extra large, please.
You're ready for this?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Hey.
You mentioned Phil and Aaron in the tweet earlier, and it reminded me of Aaron Greenberg and I, and a couple of others, obviously like Major Nelson and a few others, all have this. And it's there's a place for your phone, there's a place for your remote control, a place for your controller.
Wow.
Why
that's
doesn't
cool.
Sony
That's
have
cool.
something like that? I need something like Sony. I'm just
Well,
saying.
here's the thing. It was obviously super promotional, and there's like 7 made or something. I don't know. Honestly, I do not deserve this. Let me just be clear about that. But
I wouldn't say
this
that.
is a onesie that I was like, I wanted to have this, so they made it happen, which was really nice.
You and
It's a
Lamar
onesie?
Wilson. Yeah, it's a onesie. That's the one that Lamar Wilson unboxed. You remember that?
What?
Yeah, Lamar Wilson got that.
Oh, nice. I just remember Aaron getting it and going,
That's awesome.
but Aaron is cool. So there you go.
Blaze, what you think, man? Future VR, you see it? I know that's a sore subject.
I'm thinking of a onesie right now. What would you say?
He's trying to escape himself.
PlayStation. You know what I was saying too? My friend lives in Canada. He has a decent channel, not a big channel, but you know, decent. But Xbox is supporting him and giving him little care packages, and I was like, God, you know, it pays to be a, you know, like God, like Sony would never send me. You know, it's just.
Oh man.
Oh no, we're doing this.
No. When I look at the facts of the matter is, look, I got to be real.
Yeah.
Xbox, they're reachable, man. They're reachable. You know what made me start thinking this way? Look, listen, guys in the chat. Don't worry, dude. I'm a PlayStation guy to the core. Trust me.
You already
I'm telling
betrayed
you,
him by
though,
saying Xbox.
After unboxing my Series X, and I'm like looking at the packaging, I got the Halo Edition Series X. And
What?
Yeah, I got the speckles, like the packaging all matched up. It was perfect. It was wrapped like a baby. I'm like, it was perfect. And then it's like, you know, I was telling Big Cloud, like PlayStation does not. They don't go all out as much as they used to with custom consoles and controllers. And well, Blaze, they go all out with the games. That's the only important thing. Fine, you're right.
Yeah,
but I'm
true,
just saying, God damn, man.
When you're packaging a game with a console, I would expect a little effort to go with the console as much as the game. You know what I mean? And they don't do that. Like me and him had this long conversation, Kate. We were live, and there were a lot of people that were coming at us because they were shocked that we were saying this. But I'm like, these new custom shells, I don't know if you saw them for the PS5. We were like, they're very underwhelming. Remember that, Blaze? the new ones
they're too late.
They were
Sony,
just
you want to sell us shells for $50, Sony? You're too late. Other companies already. If people wanted a different color shell, they already own it. Trust me, you're too late. Please. It's just.
I wonder if it's that Sony, like, so Xbox still. I mean, from what I see, and obviously from what I see from Xbox, from our side, they're like. There's so much influencer relations. There's so much pride and like Xbox fridge, Xbox mini fridge. You know, these Xbox. You know, you're absolutely right. The custom controllers, the custom consoles, these hardware pieces, right? And Xbox, the Xbox level does that. I wonder if what Sony is doing is really letting the individual individual developers really own their own titles and have that be the thing as opposed to the ROI from I don't know. I like I said, my purview is not like I don't see a lot of like Sony specific stuff or PlayStation, I should say, specific swag or specific whatevers, but I do obviously see a lot of Xbox specific things along with the titles.
Oh, they got PlayStation. They got so
Kate,
much shit. I mean, look at this. Look at this alarm clock that lights up. It's PlayStation logo.
What?
They got a bunch of stuff. What I'm saying is the PR for Xbox.
Yeah.
They'll give you a shot. Like, oh, you're upcoming channel. Oh, you're in a small market. You know, boom. It's hard if you live in America and you want to be what you got to be a really, but like I just like that they're access. You know, you can reach them, you can reach out to them, and they, you know, I'm just saying, man, it's just
no, you're not wrong. And honestly, I know the guys
review codes as well. Like they give out review codes. I got Gears 5. Like,
nice.
I was talking to IGN about that. We were making agreement. That's like, it don't matter where you work, guys. Sony's very picky when it comes to review codes.
It is what it is, man.
They're very picky.
Sorry, I buy my games. I'm just saying, you know, it would be nice.
Yep. No, I agree. Totally.
Shout out to our good friends Game On Daily in the chat. I see you, Asa, the mastermind behind that show. Shout out to you. What's up, brother? But yeah, it's true though. Like Microsoft has custom sounds. Okay, you know this, and the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
Sony doesn't have nothing like that. Hey, here's a Spider-Man edition PS5 or PS4. And it's like you turn on, it just has the same generic sound. There's nothing to this.
Well, they'll change the. Can you call a box livery? But they'll change the box.
Yeah, which is like, wow, a box. Right. You change the box. What about the console? Like the Death Stranding one looked cool, right? The
Big Cloud, there's level. My Gears of War Xbox One X got scratches in it. It's got a Gears of War noise when you start it.
No,
it's like there's levels to it. I'm just saying, look, you know, I'm not complaining, but I am, people. I mean, that's all.
No, it totally makes sense because ultimately you're investing so much time and energy into showcasing, reviewing, and being a part of that community and evangelizing. Really evangelizing, and then you know, say what you want to say, but you both are evangelizing in different ways, and you put so much time and effort and energy, and it would be nice to have that acknowledged on that level, on a level that you know costs them some sort of capital of some kind, whether it's time, whether it's you know, some sort of social capital. You know, I totally get it.
Absolutely. Sony, come on, be better, please. Follow your.
Have you played Halo Infinite?
No.
What?
I didn't. I know.
Somebody cut him, Mike. What?
Literally, I feel bad about this, but literally in the last. I mean, I played
At least you're honest, man.
I played a little before it came out, but here's the thing: is that I actually took sort of a digital detox the last 2 months, and I feel bad about that. By the way, let me be clear: I am a ban for sure. I did, of course, get in on HCS Raleigh. I'm not crazy. You know what I mean? So I did some really good stuff. But no, you know why? You know why it was? And because it's something I don't like saying out loud because I feel like I'm then like. I've got like leprosy or something in the gaming community when I'm like, I didn't play the AAA title that came from Xbox, blah, blah. And I didn't do that. It was a decision because I knew that as soon as I started, I wouldn't be able to stop. I love Julia Hardy. God bless that woman. She's the coolest ever. And she was like, she posted a picture of herself the other day. She's like I think she'd been on either her bed or her sofa playing. I just did the same thing for like 7 days straight. And and I fully appreciate that kind of gaming. But I know that if I didn't play it, that's fine. But if I did, I'd be there for 10 days, and someone would find me drooling. And I guess I made a decision to like not be that person this year. It's going to happen. Like it's not like it's right there. I mean, it's just right there. And believe me, it has been the hardest thing to resist. But I think this is what in my world I call adulting. And it makes me sad all day.
That's Kate's story, but the point still stands, Kate. Big Cloud played the game more than you. How does that?
I know.
How does that happen?
I know.
For shame.
And you know what? I shall wear this hood in shame. And you know, at the end of the day, I made the decision to not do it, and so here we are. And you know, what am I gonna do? I can't say anything.
15 days in that game.
Here's a fun fact about this guy. Yeah, he has 15 days. So you remember that conversation we had about it when everybody was concerned? We talked about no ray tracing in the game, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. This guy put more time into that game than he did any PlayStation exclusive. I am blown away that this dude. Like I lost him. No. No.
More importantly, what'd you think? It feels like you may have enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the multiplayer.
I played it on Legendary, the hardest difficulty, and it was the campaign at least.
Yeah.
Oof, that was kicking my you know what for the first like 2. But I wanted to beat it the hard because someone like like, dude, you got to play it on the hardest difficulty. The AI is so much, So I played it, and I honestly I love the direction they went. I know they're kind of mixed bag, but I think 343 finally, it was my game of the year, and that says a lot because
I know.
it was a great game. It was, multiplayer, but the campaign was incredible. I really enjoyed the campaign. The multiplayer is great. Fundamentally, the shooting mechanics, the movement, they just got to work on some battle pass microtransactions. They got to clean some stuff up. But other than that, they got a good game that'll be around for a long time, for real.
That tracks with just about everything I have heard at this point. And
I'm glad Halo's back because it's Halo. Halo needed to be a staple in Xbox. They can't be this game that it's okay. Like Halo needs to be great, and that's it.
Yeah, and I will say that, like, once again, like this is like such a polar opposite of some of those teams that and teams working through a pandemic are not to be underestimated, right? Teams working through a pandemic are doing amazing things, and I will say that it's really nice to see not just multiplayer, of course, but that campaign for Infinite be so well received because of the number of things that it took to put, because of the number of times. Oh gosh, it broke our hearts how many times? 2, 3 times? I can't even. I can't even remember how many times.
This was like the last straw for a lot of us if it failed. If I remember correctly, that's how we were all on that energy. Yeah. And now it's like, we can breathe. We can breathe for a little bit. We can breathe, and that's good. So that pressure kind of it worked. It worked in their favor for the long run. Yeah, and and after seeing Unreal Engine 5, I know you got
high expectations, but holy gosh,
yeah. After seeing that Unreal Engine 5, I'm very excited for Gears and how that's gonna play, and also because Hellblade 2 looked great to me too. I thought it was like there's a lot of good stuff to look out for. But,
so Kate, you're rehabbing from gaming basically.
I'm rehabbing from a digital world. I think I've been trying to get off of social, been trying to live in so fun fact, and side note, by the way, Hellblade 2, like I'm sitting here also thinking that is a brilliant VR title. That has to be just a VR experience with that incredible sound that they have.
Throwing stuff at the little ogre looking thing chasing you.
And the fact that it's in your head already, oh my gosh, like could you not? I mean, fantastic. So that to the side. But I will say, I think I think for me, in a weird way, the pandemic sort of finally caught up with me. I mean, it caught up a couple of times, but like from a perspective of like needing to uncross my eyes.
Yeah.
Because all of my, and I say that as somebody who, much like yourselves, lives screen to screen so much. Just a little about me. We live in Malibu, which is fantastic. I see the ocean every day, which is great. But like for the most part, my world is these 4 walls, right? I do Apex out of the kitchen. I host, different like gaming or things, as well as corporate stuff out of my side room here. It's like I was very, very aware in like, I would say starting sort of almost the middle of October, that I was like,
you need a break.
Oh man, I feel bad about that because it feels like I'm not a good gamer, because it feels like I'm not, because I'm not. I'm behind.
I wouldn't say that. Nah, you're a good gamer. You're a good gamer.
But I appreciate that. But I will say it's like it's fascinating what making that decision has done. And I feel, especially now as we're coming into ALGS, we're looking at the playoffs coming up here in 2 weeks. We're looking at split number 2 coming up, later in February. Like I'm looking sort of long term. And this is the first time in my adult life when I've actually been like, let's make a concerted effort to change a little bit. And so for me, that was really helpful.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my, I mean, I hasten to use the word excuse, but mostly it was just like that was probably better than any pill I could have taken. And now I will be back to the business of enjoying that immersive gameplay here in not too long. I haven't decided when I'm going to start going at it again, but it'll probably be a week or so.
What's funny, crazy, and you can ask everybody in the chat, shout out to everybody in the chat, that like button, appreciate everybody. Everybody's like, I got some super chat, or channel member updates, but I'll get to those in a second. Shout out to everybody. But if you were to ask everybody in the chat, I went from being the most punctual guy on YouTube in terms of uploads, but even with the good news that I told you, obviously with me now being a freelancer, a lot of that died down. I didn't want to upload. I didn't want to do much. And I don't know if it was just like a second switch that happened in my brain, but it's like news happened. I didn't have this urge to want to go and talk about it. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go and upload anything. And then everybody's like, "Oh, Ryan, you've been going for weeks." I'm like, "I know." And it's like, I ain't gonna lie. The silence of not seeing X amount of things and not having to worry about algorithms for a change. It's really, you know what I mean? It's really a different level. Like when I went and started to work for IGN and started doing everything, they were like, you know, you had to do this. I'm sitting going, damn, what was this again? I literally stopped and was like, well, what is this again? And I was like, oh shit. And I had to re-get and get into everything. But yeah.
And I will say, I will, like I said, I did obviously watch HCS Raleigh, so like I wasn't like completely, but for the most part, for me, I really took because I don't know about you guys, but like algorithms, Twitter feeds, you know, the sort of the what is genuinely so much content churn. Yeah. That it just became overwhelming for me. So the point is that I decided to do something that I wouldn't have done even like 2 years ago because I'm like an adult now, and so now I'm just gonna be looking down the barrel of like, okay, well let's get. It's not even getting back on the horse. It's more like rediscovering what makes me excited about it, what makes me want to turn on that console. Because I hate to say this, but especially like come that middle of October, and part of it was, of course, we had just done a big show and everything, but like it became, especially since, and I know you both know what this is like, especially since you're content creators, you're people that are constantly on the, you know, the cutting edge, the next cusp, as you were talking about. It's so hard sometimes to play something for fun that you're being paid to do. And it's, that's by the way, that does definitely, I totally understand, chat, like that sounds like ow, my gold shoes are too tight. I totally get it. Yeah. But when you don't have that separation. So right now I'm getting to the point, and the reason I even bring that up is because I'm getting to the point now where people talking about, you know, Halo Infinite and campaign, especially, I'm such a campaign person. Oh my God. Like, and that element and having so many good reviews and everything, it's got me excited, which I needed to have, and I needed to have it organically before I could come back and do this. So
right.
Just a reminder to everybody, don't burn yourself out for the fun stuff either.
That's true. No, that's true.
We've all been burnt out. I mean, bad. I went through like a month and a half period where we didn't play any game. We talk here and there in Discord, but we didn't play anything.
Sit in the Discord watching, like, I don't know, Extreme Cheapskates. I get you not. We were just reading that and watch that. Just chill in the Discord. We didn't game at all.
Burnout is a real thing, especially when playing games is your job and reviewing games and being around games 24 game. It's like, dude.
How do you guys deal with it? Blaze, I'll start with you. How do you deal with that? I mean, because I just went full cold turkey because I was like, this isn't working. I need to like reset. How do you deal with that?
You know what I do? I have 3 kids. That's how I deal with it. So when this is how, look it. You work all day. You get home. You got you know, all these munchkins running around. Then once the munchkins go to sleep, now here comes your girlfriend. Give me attention. Give me attention. Oh, love to give you attention. Sure, no problem. And then by the time you sit down and you know, my selfish brain thinks by the time I sit down, it's 10 o'clock. Now I'm playing games from 10 to like 2:30 in the morning, and then waking back up for 6 to go to work. It's like, so
they call them gamer hours for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reason for me. I've become less burnt out and become just I'm a, you know what it is. I appreciate when I actually sit and play a game now. I appreciate it much more because the time like it's like finding time for like gaming now is become like, oh, I can't wait to sit down and play. You know, when you take a shower, you eat something, you sit down like, oh, I can't wait to get into this. After a while of not doing it, like you appreciate it more. But during the pandemic, everybody was home. Yeah. And I'm over here like for 2 years straight. Literally, all of us have been at home, and like I was playing game. The kids coming in and out, like it didn't matter. But you know,
it slowly became old. You know what I mean? Like we were all just sitting there, like, damn, is this all we're really gonna do?
And I didn't want to interrupt you, but she brought me up a plate of food, and I just took a bite. That's why I left. I'm like, I went downstairs. I'm like, dude, I lost my taste. I can't taste anything. What the hell happened? I was like, wow, I didn't want to eat. I lost my taste.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
That's the worst.
But
Yeah.
that's he deals with
Yeah,
it
but
with.
what do you do, Big Cloud? Because you're working you're freelancing for IGN now, right? You did all that work. A lot of Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy's a lot of work. Okay, those
Yeah.
games are massive, and
Yeah.
you're covering that. Then you're doing RGT videos. You're doing solid cast videos for my podcast.
I don't know. Then guessing everywhere else. I know. Where do I find the time? You know, for me, I have this tendency of just disappearing from the whole time. Like I literally just
You do.
separate myself from the whole thing. Like Blaze, you already saw it. Like when you really ran into me, did I miss a beat when it came to videos? I never missed a beat. I never dropped. Never. There was never a day where you didn't see nothing from me. You know what I mean? Now I'm at that point where it's just like I don't really care as much. You know. And when I do drop something, I don't know. I don't want to say like the spark's not there, but that just mindset wise, I
You're
was like,
burnt out, Big
I
Cloud.
don't want to feel like it. And then when I took the days off, no, here's the thing. Even when I took the days off, like I went like what 2-3 weeks without uploading. I thought I was good. I came back. I dropped one video. I was like, I felt good. Guess what? Went right back to square one. Is it really burnt
gaming.
out? Is it really burnt out, or something else? Gaming, and then when we go to the gaming side, y'all know me. I love the platinum stuff. I haven't had the desire to platinum anything. And granted, I still got games here. One of which still in plastic, eh? Not touched. That's in plastic.
No.
Not touched. And I don't know. That's just where I was at. We got new games dropping soon. Horizon's about to come out soon. We got Elden Ring. Me and him can't wait to play.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
18th of February will be coming soon.
Dying Light.
Dying Light 2. Yeah, Dying Light 2. So a lot of games to look out for, but I don't know. Just something just telling me like not do it. And I dealt with it, but by just really, it felt like I just ignored the whole thing and just kept.
You know what you got to do? You want to fix that? I'll fix it for you. Very simple. If you have an old console laying around, plug it in. If you got like a PS3 or an Xbox 360, plug it in. Dude, you're sick of this gaming? Go play a PS3 or an Xbox 360 games at like sub 30 frames per second at sub 720p resolution. You'll be like, wow, I love where game's at right now.
That's a good point, because I ain't gonna lie.
We're spoiled.
It is, but when we were watching God of War 3, we got excited to play something. You know what I mean? We were excited to play something for it.
Yeah.
You were sitting there going, yo, dude, God of War 3, we need to fire that up on PS5. You know what? I just might do that right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this looks so night and day, It's a shocker how games are now. And
Nostalgia is the best, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's true. If only Nintendo understood that. Oh, shots fired. My bad.
Nintendo, and by the way, Nintendo don't really do sequels. By the way, I wanted to say that before. Like, they do sequels here and there, but they just reuse the same Listen, I'm Italian, and I really want to say that, Mario, they're really, Mario's been crunching for like years, man. It bothers me to see my guy Mario really out there. Like, give the guy Mario a break, man.
Speaking of burnout.
Don't even mention that.
Yeah, but like Nintendo can put out the same IP, and I love Nintendo. My son loves the Switch. I love the Switch, but they put out the same IP. Zelda, they just change it. Breath of the Wild, and and people, and the point I'm trying to make is those games sell more than any other games. PlayStation and Xbox, they sell like so. You can't put a finger on it. Like, you can't say, oh, it's because I can't. Well, explain why Mario Kart is the best-selling game and Zelda is the best-selling game, but these games keep coming out the same character, the same. I don't get it.
Yeah, I give you that. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and they know it. It's just sad they haven't updated with us. But
did they say no E3 this year?
No E3.
Did I hear that?
Bro. Yeah.
There is no E3. There is a digital only E3. I think is the right way to put it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. That came out yesterday afternoon. Ish.
People were upset about that. I know they were looking forward to meeting up, and
it was breaking news. I was like going, oof.
And also, and it's funny too, because also it's like that news comes out the same week that we're seeing CES. Now CES, I don't know if you guys have seen videos. My friend Rakari is there. Another girl, FL Rachel is there. Seltzer is there. Like there's a bunch. Pamela's there. Like there's a bunch of people who are. Veli's there. God, yeah. There's a bunch of people who are there for like hosting and influencer stuff. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the only videos that I have seen from the floor, everything looks super Spartan. Excuse me a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
So it's interesting. I mean, like, it's interesting because you also have then like the Grammys that are saying that they're postponing, right? You have also got GDC. Is GDC going to get postponed? Like, you know, and that is where, I mean, the reality is that award shows are award shows. Game Awards postponed, it would suck, but like it's fine. E3 is supposed to be an industry event, right? And it's definitely for fans too, but it's a big, you know, it certainly was at least a big industry meetup. A lot of things happened. A lot of very important handshakes were had there. You know, GDC, another great example, developers coming together to create and to, you know, communicate and talk about the next big thing and the next big technology and that kind of meeting of the minds, that like thought leadership kind of stuff. You know, I'd be curious how it's going to work, you know, going forward. I mean, we pivoted so much, but it was such a pivot. And now we're at that place where luckily at least E3 is giving us more of a way. So we know that the pivot's like, you know, 6 months from now, which is great because so many of us form our entire year around it. But it is, it sucks. And it sucks that CES is going on because CES was all digital. In fact, I actually was on the writing team that wrote the digital show last year for CES that featured a bunch of really cool people, right? So
will it ever come back? Or like, will E3, like obviously Sony already said, hey, we don't want to be there, which I don't.
And Nintendo hasn't been there for how long?
Right.
Yeah.
It's just I used to look forward to like developers sitting down and showing like a 15-minute clip of their new game coming out, and they would talk about the game as they're showing gameplay. I used to love that, man.
Yeah.
You know,
well, we were talking about it earlier, actually, right, Bit?
Yeah, I'll never forget that moment, Kate. I think it was E3 2016. Sean Layton was on the stage. We had an orchestra. We got the reveal of God of War 2018, if I remember correctly. There.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that, now Kate, Blaze wasn't here when I said it, but you know, treating it like a WrestleMania, so to speak, bringing that around, opening it up. How amazing would it be if you would have had an orchestra around the world, different venues, different places, new faces, new gamers, new experiences? That would have been something I would think, at least logically, I would think that would keep E3 alive and well. You know what I mean? The demand for it.
Actually, you know what? Bait, you actually make a really good, interesting point that I didn't even think about, which is that right now E3 looks at it from an organization standpoint, from the from you know, we the original E3 stuff is based on the event space, right? And that's how they became the platform, if you will. It was physical. My dogs have gotten excited because my fiance's home. Sorry.
Yeah, but, congratulations. I saw that. Congratulations. Yeah, I saw that.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you very much, gents. Appreciate that very much. It happened the night of the
anniversary. Yeah. I was like, okay, he waited for the moment.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
She wants to be.
Time. But I was
she wants her adulthood. I get it now. I get it. Okay.
It's hard to argue with that point. That it is spot on. But I was gonna say it is interesting because I didn't even think about this until now. E3, of course, is the organizer, but if they decided to not just do that one, I think they, like, Golden Boy was on it last year. There's a bunch of people. Alex is the only one I remember, but on the stage they had like an E3 press conference thing, or I guess maybe, and then IGN had a bunch of stuff and all these things. And I wonder if they actually organized a more like regional, a more worldwide thing as the organizer of it, as opposed to just simply the platform. That would be super cool.
It was smart. Longevity, more eyes, you know, more eyes. Like more eyes or something is not a bad thing. It's right. It's better, and that's how
I think E3 needs to evolve. E3, you know what E3 looks like to me right now? They look like Blockbuster that says, "No, you got to come here, come to us. You got to be in this building, in this venue." No, E3.
How about you come to us?
Do something where you have an event, but it's a digital event, and you give time slots and just do everything on it.
Which
I know people
technically is
don't
what they
want to
did
hear
last
that.
year. Technically is
Yeah.
what they did last year, but this is the first year that they've done. And and I will say what's interesting is that I think what I would 1000% agree with is that they did it last year based on the circumstances.
Yeah.
They did it this year, and they mentioned once again the circumstances being the reason. But I think you're absolutely right. If they made the decision to say, no, we're just going to do this. We're just going to recognize the fact that digital is how people take things anyway, that we're going to transition exclusively to this format and give up our LA Convention Center slot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you 1000%. I would love that. And as somebody who obviously loves going to E3 and working E3 and everything, and I miss that completely. But at the same time, like, I think unfortunately for those who are in person, one thing that doing E3 digitally last year and certainly now pivoting this year has proven is that it works.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
agree.
much more easy and much more convenient, much less stressful. Look,
Yeah.
I want to meet certain people too, but
Sure.
listen, there's a lot plane tickets, hotel rooms. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
investment.
There's other events. There's Gamescom, there's PAX East, like there's a lot of stuff
But what's
that,
looked at
allow
with
us
more
to
eyes,
meet.
and that's kind
Right.
of the killer of it. You know what I mean? Like you got Gamescom, PAX East, and it's like, but hey, what's the main thing people talk about in terms of social gatherings? Oh, E3. How about E3 come here? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
for
And
once.
you know what I will say this. You know what I do like though, just to harp on this one more time.
Yeah.
I love what you talked about, both of you mentioning these very memorable moments
Yeah.
from these press conferences. That is the memorable moment aspect, the audible gasp from a theater full of people, the round of applause that Keanu Reeves had to talk through, the yelling, "I love you," like those
You're
memorable moments.
breathtaking.
It's like those memorable moments are really the thing. I think you miss the interactions with people face to face 1000%. But for me, the interactions that can only come when you get all of these hodgepodge of people together that make up the gaming world and are like it's those kind of memorable take two. It's those memorable moments that are the thing for me that I would want. I miss the most, but I also think can be somewhat replicated in a digital form. And I wish that they would go a little bit farther into helping replicate that in that digital space.
And it was the question mark, like, what are they going to show? What game's going to be there that they haven't talked about? And like that.
Yep.
And then seeing the crowd reaction, but they could still, it won't be the exact same effect, but they could still have a, a pre-recorded thing come, or it could be live, hey guys, this is our new game we're working on, boom, show it, Obviously there's no orchestra.
We want to know more about the people making it. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I want to know that. I want to, because you know what, we were talking about getting back on the horse, and Blaze, you were mentioning, hey, a good idea would be to go and experience that back compat title, that way back, like let's talk 720, like for sure. And one of the things that I do to get back reinvigorated into the gaming world in general is I remind myself, I go and familiarize myself with some of the people, the faces, and the names that actually put the thing on, that actually make it, that actually have put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, because it's a little bit like understanding the words and the themes behind a song and hearing the song for the first time. For me, that's like I don't know, that's a big thing for me. But I think a lot of it is that vocational aspect where I'm like, I've interviewed these people, I've they've been right here, and having that kind of a situation, it turns the ownership of a fan into a whole other.
Right. Actually being there and meeting the person, face to face. Yeah. That's true. Like, I don't want it to be a point where it's like E3, if we do even have an E3. So let's say E3 is seen through VR. That's the only social gathering you'll have, so to speak, of VR, of E3. It's like, no, let's not do this.
Yeah.
So that's how I looked at it, that was thing.
I getcha.
Let me get these super chats out the way real quick. I have a bunch, or actually, not even much super chat. It's mostly channelers. Shout out to everybody who's a channel member. Shout out to Ice Queen Gaming, been a member for 11 months. Shout out to you. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate you. My brother Ayman, he's now a bronze tier member. Shout out to you, my friend. Damien, who's been a member for 11 months. He says Kate should be a permanent member. I love
man.
that. I love that version, permanent, but you know how it is. Work. She has a schedule. You know, she not.
There's
She has
so
a
many
schedule.
schedules. It's stupid, but thank you.
Danny from the Platform Live dropped the $5 super chat. He says, sad about E3. Wanted to be there in person. Amazing show, Big Cloud, Blaze, Kate. Kate, your last name is literally a giant badass robot. LL. Hashtag PC. Hashtag RGT.
Watching Pacific Rim was really weird. I'd rather die in a Yeager. What? Okay. Still different, but I get it.
And shout out to my good friend Jay Barry. I've been a member for 10 months. Shout out to you, Barry. I appreciate you, bro. He's a big fan of yours as well, Kate. Big fan. He says, and I quote, what's up, fellas? Great convo. And shout out to Kate. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you. Guys, hit that like button. Got like 2 more questions and we'll shut it down. I know Kate's already getting tired. I see her rubbing her eyes.
No.
I see the whole 9 yards. Nah, I'm playing.
I have to go.
We can talk forever with Kate about gaming. That's how much we love Kate. That's the funny thing.
Oh, I will say
But
what
we
I
have a
told
time
Bit
limit. Yeah.
before we started this was I was like, you have to try and keep me
Yeah.
to an hour and a half. Obviously, we're over it now. It's just fine. I'll go a few more minutes, but like because I have a problem. That's not really a problem actually, because I just love talking to you. I love talking Blaze. I like nerding out. I like talking about the new and different things within the sphere and the community, and I love that. And I find myself being able to talk. Well, I think we almost did like 4 hours last time. Maybe it was like 3.5.
It was like 2. It was damn near pushing
It
3
felt
hours.
like
We were
5.
having too much fun. Yeah, we were having too much
Yeah.
fun. It was like, damn, 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, guys, it's time to cut it. We're good. We're good. We get enough content for this show. We're good. But seriously, that's how it is. And hey, Kate's one of the coolest people in this industry. So that's what happens. We have cool people to talk to. You have long, awesome conversations. So let me throw this at you real quick here. Of course, it's a new year, a new millennia. So what is your most anticipated game for 2022?
Hello. Her name is Horizon. Well, it's not actually Horizon.
Aloy.
obviously.
Oh,
Aloy,
okay.
But I know it's my thing. I'm super psyched. It's like I think if I recall correctly, and I'm looking this up now because I get I'm like everybody get excited about just the trailer and everything, and having seen and done the game the original. The earlier, God, I have had a day. And apparently it's going through America's post-apocalyptic West, California, Utah, Nevada. I am so excited.
It was amazing looking
to
at the
have
game
some
and looking
mapping.
at actual shots over there and how they did it. It was like, whoa, that's really great how they mapped it
I love
around. Really, really cool.
That's my big one.
And it's in VR. That was a PSVR 2 tie. I forgot. It's gonna VR installment.
Ooh,
So
oh dear.
pretty
Well,
cool.
there goes
Pretty
that
cool.
dollar.
Let's see. So that's your most anticipated game. How excited are you for 2022? Anything you really looking out for in terms of let's say, I don't know, hardware announcements, excitement for games? No.
So here's for me. I'm looking at 2022, and I'm looking at it with realistic eyes. And I know that sounds like it's not easy. You can't get excited about realistic expectations, but I am tempering my own rate, and it's because. But my excitement really comes from, obviously there's some great titles coming out. That's clear. And Saints Row is kind of one of them for me. It's gonna be silly. And it's gonna be ridiculous and whatever. And it's fine. It's what it is. Okay, it's just what it is. And I know there's all these other things. There's a lot of things going on with that studio. But anyway, we'll put that aside for a second. Oh God! Believe it or not, neither one of these things had alcohol in it. I don't know what's going on. But what I will say, what I am looking forward to in 2022 is and we've already seen it in some ways, is the decisiveness that some of these studios and some of these publishers and some of these developers are going to be taking to not just pivot, but to fully adapt to the new post-COVID world, which has absolutely changed for sometimes the better, sometimes the worst, obviously, has changed the way that we immerse ourselves in entertainment. And so for me, I look forward to some of the innovations that have come out of 2020 and on the pardon my friends, the shit show that is 2021. And I look forward to what people are going to look, the proactive qualities, the proactive stuff, rather than simply reacting. So that's for me. I look forward to the innovation really coming of age and really like it's incubated itself, whatever the technology, whatever the hardware, whatever the game, whatever that is. I look forward to a series of things that have been incubated out of necessity that we're now looking at from a proactive, let's do this for real. That's where that's 2022 for me.
Okay. There you go. Last gaming topic we had, and this one obviously is a big deal. Ubisoft Plus was announced for Xbox. However, it's a little split here. It's a separate subscription service, and a lot of people are not really fond of it being a separate subscription service. How you think? So my question for you was, how you think Microsoft should, reply to
Pass,
this?
isn't EA Access?
EA Access is still Game Pass right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it separate? If you get Ultimate, then you get EA Plus with it, right? You have to have Ultimate to get Plus.
I'm not very sure. EA? I forgot all about it personally.
The Ultimate Plus versus like dyed in the wool Game Pass. That's a good question. I can't remember. I assume it's Ultimate gives you all the bells and whistles. Right. I just don't remember at what level that EA Plus is.
They changed it so many times. EA Play,
EA Play, whatever.
Origin,
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. By the way, here's how I think of other streaming gaming services. It's the same way I feel about Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus,
Disney
Plus.
Listen,
at the end of the day, there's more than 100 titles in this Ubisoft Plus, so I completely understand. And if you're an Ubisoft fan, it's it's Disney Plus. That's what it is. It's Disney Plus versus Netflix. That's kind of how I think of it. Although of course the console exclusives obviously make a difference. Yeah. But I'm like, the more the merrier. Let's do it. I'm cool.
Yeah, more games, more choices.
Yeah. Should it be do you think it should be like because a lot of people are saying it should be a one payment solution, and I saw that, I was like, I get it, but at the same time it's it's two completely different things here,
but do we know everything? I guarantee you if you own Game Pass Ultimate that there'll be a perk where you'll be able to play these games. I guarantee you.
People scale up subscriptions all the time, right? ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, I believe, and I think even Hulu is a part of that bundle. Yep. Yeah, 1,000%. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and echo Blitz here one more time. Never say never.
There you go. There you go. And of course, the last question. Look at she's cheering inside. Yes, I'm free. No, I'm kidding. But
my fiance's home. Come on, let me get out of here.
So the last question for our good friend Kate here, of course. What would be your dream game that you would like that you want Microsoft to bring back?
So
I never got a chance to ask you that. I was like, I gotta hear that.
And I'm glad that you did, because the one thing I'm gonna say, that when the original Xbox, I played 007. Do you all remember the hedges?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember? It is a classic.
I literally streamed 007 Nightfire for everybody not too long ago, and I was like, dude, this game is so damn good to this day.
007's awesome.
007.
And IO Interactive, which it's funny because I had seen sort of those little things in the ether, but it hasn't really, huge crazy news, right? Because it's still in the ether. And so I was thinking about it today when I saw the question would be, and then of course I had so much fun because I was like, oh, Flight Sim, but don't worry, it's already there. It's these kind of throwback titles, no, 007. And as it turns out, IO Interactive is guess what, B? Here's what's happening.
I expect good things. Hitman was amazing.
And I'm sorry to say, but the expectations for me, and I know this about myself, they are sky freaking high. And I'm so sorry to say that to IO. I'm so sorry. But I will say, and we're coming into a time when, Daniel Craig is out. Who's going to come in next? So for me, I'm trying to remember if it was Tom Holland. I saw I don't know if this is substantiated, but that Tom Holland, that he actually went and pitched a 00 game, and that it became,
it.
Yeah, well, no, but then they were like, no, Tom, how about this other title for this movie? Because he pitched a 00 yeah, it was something like no. It was like, you know how they had Young Indie part of Crusade. It's like he pitched a young 00, and I'm like, please, and they're like, no, how about this one instead? You heard of this Uncharted series?
Now he's now he's Drake, and he's
Yeah. Oh darn, you're just an icon in the gaming world. You're welcome.
Oh, we'll see how it turns out. I've seen gaming movies. So
we've all seen. Oh yeah,
do we need to remind ourselves of Mortal Kombat?
No.
Oh, God.
Assassin's Creed.
I mean,
Resident Evil.
What was
Mortal Kombat wasn't
World
bad,
of Warcraft?
man. Mortal Kombat
World of
wasn't
Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Sonic. Has anyone seen Sonic, by the way? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen
the
it.
First one was not bad. Not bad.
Oh, okay.
I seen it with my son, so maybe I'm jaded, but he liked it, so I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Good.
I think they nailed Knuckles in the new trailer. Looks pretty good too. They nailed Knuckles.
Jim Carrey lately's hit or miss, man. He's either nailed it or he's like,
I wonder if that's because he has so much money and clout that he doesn't have to do anything.
Right. He don't.
That he doesn't have to like follow directions.
Right.
I'm heartbroken though. He was gonna he was gonna be the character that was gonna lead to us getting possibly a Kick-Ass 3. Remember that movie? That's franchise. And he wanted to be killed off because it was too violent for him. We played Colonel I forgot the name of that character, but yeah. I was like, come on, Jim. You pick a badass character. You don't want to play the violence, you son of a but it was a good thing.
Yeah. So there he goes. 007. I want it back. I want to. We haven't had a title on any console for many years, and we deserve it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You saw No Time to Die, right? The Daniel Craig.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you already know as much that movie was like. We really need 007 back. We got we got Splinter Cell coming back. Where's 007? So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Well. Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 174 of the RGT podcast. What a great way to start the new year. Shout out to you guys for making 2021 amazing. Of course, 2021 led us all, to some great stuff at the channel. Seeing Kate's reaction, seeing what happened here is great. But, we ran into Kate in 2021. Obviously, a lot of stuff. It's been a lot of just
she's the best,
awesome thing, man. She really is. She really is the best.
You guys are the best.
So
you take my questions, you put them back. I love it.
No, you know what it is? No. When the first time we had you on and we're asking her questions, she's like, well, wait, hold on. Like, what do you guys think? I'm like, wait, what the?
I'm like, whoa.
She started running the show. I'm like, she's too seasoned for this. Like, we try to ask her questions like, wait, what do you guys think? I want to know. And I like that. I like she's very, like, unpredictable.
The tete-a-tete, the banter.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yes. But listen, I got COVID. I feel okay. I just feel tired. But I looked at my phone. I'm like, Big Cloud, what is he calling me for? And she's like, my girlfriend's like, it's Friday. Don't you have your podcast? I'm like, oh. So I'm like, dude, I washed my face, brushed my teeth. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let me look I'm like, that's right. Kate's coming. I can't miss. So I didn't want to miss it just out of respect for you because you. Not only Big Cloud's time, but Big Cloud has whatever. But I didn't want to waste your time. Like, you came on the show, and you filled out a slot for your time for a few hours, and I just didn't want to disrespect you by not showing up. So, thank you for coming by. Seriously, for the second time, you're always a good, energetic guest. I'm sorry if I wasn't as.
You got a good excuse, my friend. Trust me, and you were totally fine. You both are so much fun to talk to. It has genuinely been a pleasure. I know, and you know this, by the way, because I'm a terrible liar. I mean, I don't know if you know, you probably don't, but like I'm just terrible. I'm just not good at it, and so it's just a lot easier to be honest. And honestly, this has been so much fun, as it always is, which I can now say because we've done it twice.
Yeah,
you're right.
There you go. So I'm not going to close the show. I mean, I could close the show and go, hey, how much fun you had on the show. But I already know the answer to that question. But if I was to be, that guy first time as a freelancer with IGN, Kate, how much fun did you have on the show? And could we expect to see you more in 2022?
Here's what I'll say. When my schedule allows, oh, heck yeah. It's too much fun. Y'all are too much fun for me. So again, but you mentioned it earlier. Like the schedule didn't work out the second time we could have done this over earlier in the month, and quite frankly, there's a lot of stuff coming up, which some things I can talk about. Nothing. By the way, I hate it when people say that. They're like, some things I can talk about, some I can't. They're NDA, and I'm like,
yeah.
nothing's
like,
that
it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
but like, but yeah. So I will say that the only limitation I have is schedule, which I think is it's just really fun. It's you guys are just too much fun. I can't stay away too long. So we'll see what we can do.
There you guys go. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate everybody who came through. Hope you guys had fun. Kate's had fun. She saw the chat. She knows. She feels the love. We appreciate y'all. Of course, my brother Blaze 4K came through. Shout out to you, my brother. Glad you were able to make it. And of course, to all the channel members, everybody in the chat, we appreciate y'all. Until next time, I will see you guys for episode 175 next Friday. You guys be blessed. Y'all be easy. Enjoy your weekend. Y'all be safe. The whole 9 yards. And we will see you guys when we see you. Till next time.